Is anyone else making public comments? I can't hear. Susan posted maybe she thought better not to. No, she just doesn't want to talk. She's got a dry cough.
Make a call to order the regular meeting of the Dupage Township Supervisor and Board of Trustees for Tuesday, August 20th, 2024 at 7:04 p.m. Tom, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you call the roll for form?
Trustee Braxton.
Here.
Trustee Ransom. Here. Trustee Savage. Here. Trustee Townsend. Here. Supervisor Marshall.
Here, there is a quorum. I would entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay. Okay, any discussion? Okay. Hearing none, then would you please call the roll?
Trustee Braxton.
Aye.
Trustee Ransom.
Aye.
Trustee Savage. Aye. Trustee Townsend. Aye. Supervisor Marshall.
Aye. Next item is the minutes of the board meeting of July 16th, 2024. Does everybody have a copy of the minutes? I would entertain a motion for approval. So moved.
Second.
Okay. Having a first and second, any discussion, any comments, or anything on the minutes?
Yeah, there just needs to be an editorial part about, but I actually was late. So
Talking to the microphone.
I already let the clerk know, but I let her know too late that just during the trustee report, my business to trustee Townsend.
Is that a change you want to make?
Yes.
Okay. Make that motion.
I motion to rename Townsend under the trustee report to trustee Townsend.
When you're second. Second. Okay. Any discussion on that? Okay, what this will do is this will add that to the minutes, and then we will have another motion to approve the minutes as amended. Okay, so would you please call the roll?
Trustee Braxton.
Aye.
Trustee Ransom.
Aye.
Trustee Savage. Aye. Trustee Townsend. Aye. Supervisor Marshall.
Aye. I'll now entertain the minutes of the board meeting as amended.
I'll make a motion to amend the meeting minutes as discussed.
Is there a second? Okay. Any discussion?
There is, I'm sorry, there is another one.
Would you talk to the microphone?
Aye. Never mind.
Never mind? Okay. All right, if there is no more discussion, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Braxton.
Aye.
Trustee Ransom.
Aye.
Trustee Savage. Aye. Trustee Townsend. Aye. Supervisor Marshall.
Aye. Okay. Next item is the public comments. I have one listed, Diane Bachman.
He still can't say my name. Please. Thank you. resident of Dupage Township. Thank you for allowing me to speak at your board meeting, even though I've been seeing some comments and posts on social media that nobody really wants our input around here. I think you're a confused trustee. This is not your meeting. It's our meeting for all the constituents. Even though we may talk about things you don't want to hear or opinions that do not match with your own. Some of you seem to forget from time to time why you were elected in the first place, and there are really only two reasons. Number one, the antics and misbehavior of the past board, which we can all agree were atrocious at the bare minimum, and what you promised in your campaign literature. One of those promises was to improve the food pantry. Nothing was mentioned about buying land and attempting to build a new resource center and food pantry. Until I learned the project proposal by coming to the meetings, where sometimes I don't feel like my input is wanted at all. I thought you were going to fix what was wrong with the Romeoville location, because it said improve. Not just close it out altogether in favor of moving it to a more preferable location for you. Has anyone told the half of Romeoville that occupies Dupage Township that this resource is moving, that it's gone? And I don't mean putting something in a newsletter, I mean communicating with the residents of the township. Why do repairs and improvements have not been made to the current location to make it ADA compliant? This was promised prior to your election to improve the food pantry. If anyone speaks out against a new food pantry location, instantly we are seen as evil people, or we don't want to help people. That's not the case. Do I like the location you're proposing? I don't. Do I live by it? No. I just can't seem to get my head around some of the concerns that the constituents have that just are not being addressed. And I'm not talking about set up a meeting and we'll address it with you one-on-one. I'm talking about complete transparency from this government body to all of your constituents. I have many questions about this location. I still can't get my head around how a semi-truck with a trailer is going to turn right onto Canterbury off Lily Cash without obstructing the two lanes of traffic at Lily Cash and all of Canterbury. I understand this will not occur that often, but what if it does occur? What if emergency services are needed? What if the people shopping in your pantry don't have adequate parking? What if it's a special distribution and they're blocking traffic all over Canterbury? I understand you've done traffic studies and some of these things have been addressed, but I don't think they've been addressed as much as I think your constituents would like to see them addressed. I also have an issue with the advisory referendum on the ballot promising no tax increase. As long as I've lived here, there's been a tax increase. Your property value goes up, you get more taxes.
Thank you. Are there any other people who want to make comments that come out on this? Hearing none, I'm closing the public comment session. Next is the supervisor's report. The supervisor's report is at the last meeting we did approve to go out to do some polling in the township, and in it yesterday we got the results of that polling. So since we just got it, it'll take some time. I would like to have the trustees, if there's anything, any comment, any questions, any discussion on this, I think we should have it at the September meeting.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, okay. And this is the preliminary finding, if you see on there, so it should be, and I would like to, Barbara, can we get this survey basically put on the website so that if anybody else wants it, they can go on the website and get a copy of it?
We'll look into that, I can promise that would, but you mean to actually take the survey on the website?
No, put it on the website. The result of the survey on this report right here.
Well, would we want to wait until after the trustees make their comments and approve it?
No,
It's not.
no, we put it on there so that if there is anybody at the September meeting that has any questions on it, they can bring it up. Otherwise, they can't. How are they going to have any questions on it?
It's not an analysis, I don't think, what I
we did discuss it at the September meeting, but I want to get it on our website so that if anybody in the public wants to get a copy of it, they can copy it.
Transparency.
Yeah.
You said that.
Say they did a part about the smart comments from the trustee
Public
shed.
comment section in September, if we have a web, any comments about it, they can then.
You saw that on the back.
Yeah, like in there.
Smart comments.
I think that's a good idea.
What I'd like you to do is to go of Grace, okay, and have her give her a copy of this and have her put it on the website, okay? And that's there. I have no idea what old business was supposed to be, but on the action items, okay, the only item we had for this month was the audit report. And there are two different audit reports, and I understand we have a gentleman from our auditors to go over.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tom Silky. I'm the director of the SIGIsh, the auditors for the Townships. March 31st, 2024, fiscal year end. Thank you for giving me minutes tonight to go through the results of the audit. Let's thank Jackie and then Dean, also in finance, for all their help as well during the audit process. And to ask for a lot of information. So I appreciate all the assistance throughout the whole audit process this year. This evening, we have two documents in front of you. Those were what we issued as part of the audit. The first one being the annual financial report. I'll refer to that as an audit report. The second is the auditor's communication to the Board of Trustees, and I'll refer to that as the board report as we go along. And if you'd like to follow along, I'll start in the annual financial report. Page one. Page one is the independent auditor's report section of the audit report. We have two sets of standards we follow as part of the audit. The AICPA issues generally accepted auditing standards, and GASB issues governmental reporting requirements that we have to follow. In accordance with the standards, I'm pleased to know we have issued an unmodified opinion on the financial statements. It's also a clean audit opinion, and the highest level of assurance we provide for the financial statements are free from material misstatement. The rest of the independent audit report then discusses a couple other matters, most notably what our responsibilities are as auditors, and then what management responsibilities are for the financial statements.
Can they go up right? Are you okay? Like you're like.
I'm used to this. This thing to happen. No, I'm fine. Thank you, though.
Because I'm not hearing that.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand. Sorry about that. Okay. So then if you flip past the independent auditor report into page MD&A 1, this starts the management's discussion and analysis section of the report. So just as the name describes, management discusses and analyzes the financial information. So Jackie and Dean did a nice job of putting this together for the audit report. And what it does a nice job of is taking not only the current year information, but also the prior year information, comparing them, and then offer an explanation why some of the balances may have changed from the prior year. So the rest of the report really is just 2024 information, but this is a nice job of comparing the prior year and adding context to some of those numbers. So I was going to point out, if you read anything else in detail in this audit report, I would highly encourage you to read through this management discussion and analysis section. So then looking past that, starting on page 4, starts the basic financial statements. Page 4 is the statement of net position. This is what we refer to as the balance sheet on the entity-wide level. So this takes not only your regular fund financial information you used to see, but also includes some of your long-term activity like capital assets and your long-term debt. Push to the bottom section there, net position. It's broken into 3 different categories. The middle section is the restricted net position. Those are net position or funds you have that can only be spent for those specific purposes, as restricted by external parties. And the bottom section there is unrestricted. That's the net position for the township that can be spent for any purpose. Flipping then to pages 5 and 6. This is one schedule here, the statement of activities. Essentially your income statement on those entity-wide levels I was referring to. This essentially shows you how your net position changed during the fiscal year. Ultimately, are you economically better off or worse than the prior fiscal year? Looking at the bottom of page 6, your governmental activities increased by 351,000, and the business activities increased by about 65,000 during FY24. Flip more page then, page 7. This starts your fund financial statements. This is the balance sheet for your governmental funds. The way this is set up, there's one individual column for each of your what we call major funds, and then one aggregate non-major column on the right side there. Looking at the left-hand column, that's your general fund or your town fund, the main operating fund for the township. Looking down in the fund balance section, the general fund had about 1.3 million in unassigned fund balance. So when you compare that to the fund balance policy the township has set up, the fund balance policy says that the unassigned fund balance in the general fund should be 4 to 6 months of the current year budgeted expenditures, and the 1.27 million represents just shy of 4 months. So you're right there in line with your policy. Just to point out, just kind of continue to monitor that, look at that on a periodic basis throughout the year. Looking at the page 9 here, this is the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balances for your governmental funds. Again, set up the same way. Again, looking at your general fund, your main operating fund there. During FY24, the general fund saw a decrease in its fund balance to about 326,000, but that was after transfers out to other funds, your general assistance and your capital improvements funds, about 656,000. And then the last set of financial statement schedules here are pages 11 through 13. These are your proprietary fund financial statements. You have one proprietary fund of the township, it is the banquet rental fund. So on page 12, this is essentially your income statement for your banquet rental fund. The key number to look at in the schedule is right in the middle, the operating income number. Operating income for the banquet rental fund was about $65,000 during fiscal year 24. That number basically represents whether or not the fund itself is essentially self-supporting, or the fees you're charging for the services enough to cover those costs to run the services. And so with an enterprise fund, you want to make sure that fund is essentially self-supporting. So that number is the key number to look at on the schedule. Like I said, that was $65,000 net income or operating income during FY24. So those are all the financial statement schedules, known as your basic financial statements. Starting on page 14 starts the notes to the financial statements. These just add additional context, supplements those financial schedules we talked about. One note I like to point out is on page 22, part of your cash and investments footnote. The second paragraph there is custodial credit risk or deposits. This is the risk that deposits are holding at your financial institutions where you bank at. Should the bank ever default or go under, the risk that you don't get those deposits back. So the bank has federally insured coverage up to $250,000. Anything above that, you need additional collateralization to cover those to address this risk. Just wanted to point out that there is proper collateralization in place as of the end of FY24, but we just look at it at the end of the year, so we recommend to monitor that throughout the course of the year as well. The rest of the notes will just touch on some of the key areas. I won't go into these in detail, but some information on your capital assets, some of your long-term debt, some of your, and the IMRF defined benefit pension plan. The last thing I'll point out in the audit report is on pages 37 and 38. This is related to the IMRF pension plan. It's the schedule of changes in the net pension liability. So looking at the 2023 column on the right-hand side or the top up there, this is the most current information available for this plan. At the end of December 31st, 23, there was a net pension liability of about $557,000. So that was a decrease from last year of $810,000. There was just better return on market investments during 2023 than there was in 22, which saw that number come down then. But the key number then is to look at on the next page. At the top, you can see that the funded status is between 89% and 90% funded. So this is one of the best funded plans in the state, so no concerns with the funding of the pension plan for the employees of the township. The rest of the report then just has some additional schedules for budget versus actual for your individual funds. So good information to look at to see how the fund performed versus the budget. And then switching over to the other report, the board report, won't go through this in too much detail, point out kind of what's included in this report. It includes what we call a SCAS 114 letter, just a required communication from us to those direct governments, covering a couple of the variety of different matters. We disclosed any adjusting journal entries we had as part of the audit process. We only had 3 audit adjustments, which is really, really good. And I will say those 3 adjustments were ones that we tend to help a lot of our clients post anyway. So really nice job by Deneen and Jack to get the financial statements in a good spot. The other item here is the management letter. So that would include any deficiencies we identify in control or any recommendations for improvement. I just wanted to point out we only have one additional comment this year, very minor comment, just to address any old outstanding stale checks that have been issued and not cashed yet, and formalizing a policy to follow up on those and making sure you're following state requirements on what you need to do with those to follow up and ultimately turn over to the state when necessary. With that, those were the high-level items I wanted to address from the audit this year. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Yeah, I have one question about the uncashed check. Statement there. Is there a standard policy or a more formal policy that should be followed?
Yes.
It won't be established.
Yes, there's not currently a formal policy in place, so the recommendation is to formalize a policy to follow. So that would have milestones and updates essentially. So after 60 days, you'll follow up, or after 90 days, you'll send a letter to the person who you issued the check to, and then ultimately the state requires that that gets turned over to the unclaimed property after a number of years. You're just making sure you're following along with that. All that should be in the policy. But right now, we have no formal policy in place.
I have a couple of questions. Can I ask them?
Probably not, Judy. It's not public comment.
No.
Thank you all that for while.
I have a question though, is there any significant audit finding as far as any negative audit finding?
No, just what I just pointed out is the only additional comment we had this year was in relation to formalizing a policy for outstanding state checks that have been sitting in cash yet, just having a formal policy to follow up. When to follow up, when to send a formal letter, when to go to the state when necessary, just getting it into place a formalized policy.
Okay. Any trustees?
No, sorry, and just to confirm, you said there were just a few things that had to be corrected, were pretty minor, and you thought that Deneen and Jackie did a great job.
Yeah, so we, in this board report, we include any audit events and journal entries we go across as part of the audit process. We look at 3 journal entries, which I mentioned is really good, and those 3 entries are ones that we tend to help a lot of clients post during our audit process. So just thought Jackie to look at shot, getting the information in a good spot.
Any other comments or questions from the board? Okay. All right, thanks very much.
Thank you, we appreciate all.
Thank you all. Good evening.
I would entertain a motion to approve to accept and approve the 2023 to 2024 financial audit.
So moved.
Any discussion on it? Any comments on it? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Trustee Braxton.
Aye.
Trustee Ransom.
Aye.
Trustee Townsend? Aye. Supervisor Marshall?
Aye. There's nothing to go to executive session, so, the next point is the approval of the township bills and claims from 7/17 through 8/20/24.
I move that we approve the payables, all payables.
I second.
Okay? Here, a first and a second. Any discussion? I take it that you've gone through the, all payables and that? Okay. Any questions, discussion, or anything? Hearing none, would you please call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Braxton?
Aye.
Trustee Ransom?
Aye.
Trustee Savage?
Aye.
Trustee Townsend? Aye. Supervisor Marshall?
Aye. Next is from the administrator. We didn't have our legal attorney here because since we only had one item on the agenda, there wasn't really a need for him to be here. So the next one will be the township administrator.
Good evening, everybody. I'll be short and quick so we can all get home and attend to other things as needed. A lot of maintenance continuing to go on. We had the polling report, as you saw. The decennial report was filed, and things are coming along. That's it.
Lady Senator.
That's the question about the listening. Can we get a copy of what was
I
filed?
have your copy right here.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And what is that? What thing you filed?
The decennial report.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the one that. Okay. Lady Senator Director.
Hi, summer's winding down here at the Lady Center, but we still have some fun trips planned for the seniors. Tomorrow we're going to George's Restaurant. Friday we're partnering with Community Nutrition Network for hosting lunch for senior Olympics here at the center. We will our seniors participate. What a good laugh, find out. We'll also be going to the White Sox game on August 29th. In September, we have a lunch bunches to attend, as well as lunch and movie, miniature golf, building game, play at Drury Lane, fishing, walking, casino trip, and a 3-day trip to Springfield to attend the Senior Olympics. This year, we have 28 seniors participating. So if you want to send us off, September 19th at 5 a.m.
Oh, 5 a.m.
5 a.m.?
Yes. We'll be driving our buses down this year. Our annual supervisors picnic was held on July 25th. We treated 247 seniors to a full barbecue buffet. I personally want to thank Supervisor Marshall as well as the board here for your generosity. Seniors loved it. We had a great time. Yeah. Thank you.
I just want to add a couple things. First of all, I did take the check for $4,000 for the Golden Agers down to Romeoville last week and presented it to the Golden Agers for the Senior Olympics. And they had a pretty big group down there, like about 50 to 60 people in there. And also, we received a contribution from the Friends of the Leafy Center for $3,000 towards the Leafy Center seniors. So that's going into the money for the Senior Olympics. Okay. Next is General Assistance. You have a copy of the General Assistance report. Essentially, have a family event you had to go to, so this details everything. Is there any question on it? Okay, so then now the elected official. Our assessor is down at the United Center as a delegate at the Democratic Convention, so he was excused from here. Okay. Okay. So the next one is Madam Clerk.
I was going to talk about $3,000 check, but that's good now.
To the microphone.
Okay, I was going to mention the $3,000 check, I don't have to guarantee that. But I want to thank all of the staff, especially Bob and T.Y. and Roberto, for all the hard work everybody put in to make our John Lewis event so successful last month. I really appreciate all the hard work and everything that everybody did, and I hope everybody gets ready for early voting soon. Thank you.
Okay, so, next is trustees, Tom Braxton.
John Lewis event, as we've done every year, it is really a moving tribute to a remarkable guy and this work he did through all equity and voting many years ago. It's an inspiration to all of us, and the program again is very moving to be reminded of his work. Also, the senior picnic, I was served a lot of food that day, and that was a lot of fun. You know, I was serving a lot, but it was still a good time. All 240 or whatever the number was, had a good time. And also the final pop-up food pantry of the season was held out here in front of the building. And every week we had done that. We ran out of food. And it was well attended. One of the official counts, the last one we did was 55 or thereabouts. And it was really demonstrates that the folks were lining up from the very first week we did this. So the clerk is that they had a service in the immediate area of our township. And the survey results too. We're happy we got this. We commissioned this some time ago. We have the results. They'll be posted online. Everybody can see them. And whatever actions that are necessary to address questions that come up or programs that will be approved or whatever. Well, now with this information, we can take action on those things. And so thank you for anyone who participated in it. The Senior Olympics, that was a whole lot of fun. And there'll be a whole host of medals will be handing out sometime next few weeks. Even more fun with those folks. Really wearing their medals proudly. Deservable. Congratulations again.
You're eligible for the Senior Olympics.
I know. I might be a ringer, that's the problem.
A ringer?
Is it too late again?
No? Gary?
Oh, good evening. Let's see, I just said two things. The first thing is, as always, the youth committee will be meeting on Monday at 6 o'clock in the township. And I have 3 people that have said they're going to join us, so I'm really excited to get some people to join the committee. So they're coming to the meeting. And then the other thing I just wanted to share, the Perspective magazine that we get every month. Just wanted to mention that ADCOY, which is the group I'm a part of for the youth, we submit an article in every Perspective magazine. And for the month of September, oh, you have it. So this is the magazine I'm speaking of. So if you don't have it. But anyway, so for September, it's National Suicide Prevention Month, and I was asked to put the article in there. So my article will be featured in the September issue. This one will share that. And that's it for me.
You should mention tools for school. I didn't say.
Oh, I thought you sure did. So tools, when there was update on tools.
840 backpacks distributed,
47?
I think 857.
87. So
What's the numbers again?
840 backpacks distributed, 387 families.
It was a great event, right?
And that includes 59 backpacks that were just given over to the 2 schools that requested.
It was a great event. Did we talk about Summer Bridge last? Summer Bridge?
It's over.
We talked
So
about
that
last
was good
night.
as well. Did you want to, any comments?
No,
It was, we doing a survey. How about that part?
We're working on a survey to the parents to try to figure out why people sign up and then maybe don't come. And we started to put together a chart of all of the students that did attend and how many days per week. Because maybe we can cut down on the cost if we don't offer it as many days, because why you would sign up for something and then not come.
So that's the whole, the survey of us.
Yeah, we're trying to.
For next year. Thank you, Jay. That's it.
It's a timing thing too.
Debbie?
Well, I wanted to say I wish all of our seniors, the Levy seniors and our golden agers, much success at the Olympics and many medals for themselves and to stay nice and healthy and safe. As always, the COVID vaccines are about to be approved. I haven't heard that they were by the FDA just yet, but the new vaccine will be out. Now, the other thing to know for all of our folks in the township are that COVID vaccines are no longer going to be free as of the end of August. So some seniors may be wanting to run out and get today's COVID vaccine, but that's the old COVID vaccine. It's probably not going to protect you as well as the new vaccine. So they haven't said what the price would be. They're apparently working on that while they're working on the COVID vaccines actually coming out. So that was the newest thing. The Congress did not approve the COVID vaccine for the COVID vaccine program that was in one of the acts.
So just real quick about the cost. So it's still covered by insurance and
Your insurance,
Medicare for seniors, right?
if it covers vaccines, yes, they do.
Okay.
You want
Also, if you're on Medicare,
this month.
also if you're on Medicare,
Yeah,
you're still free.
That's insurance.
It's free depending on certain parts of Medicare Advantage do not cover certain things. So you just want to make sure flu vaccines though are still free. Flu vaccines are actually starting to come out in a lot of our places and not everywhere just yet. I'm more of a September gal for flu shots, but that typically covers you until late spring. But you can get those, and the COVID vaccines are supposed to be at the same places, the Walgreens, the CVS, and all those kind of places as well when they get out. But they first have to get approved, and they're still manufacturing them, and then they will get out pretty soon, which we anticipate in September. So I encourage everyone to get that updated. Now, today's vaccine, the updated one, if you've had COVID in the last 6 months or so, you want to wait about 6 months after you've had COVID before you get another vaccine. So just hold tight for that 6 month time and then get that new vaccine because it'll probably be the only one we have until maybe next spring or so. They might do another one.
Linda, didn't we have someone who was going to be doing the vaccines at the senior
Yes.
expo?
Yeah, Jewel is our OSCO that we out here October 10th.
I'm going to check with someone because my understanding is that if you are on Medicare and it did not distinguish between which part of Medicare you're on, that as of January 1st, all vaccines for seniors was free.
It's supposed to be on Dr. Shaw, who's with the CDC.
I think
That's nothing different, so.
I think I'm gonna go and check
It's good to look
with
into.
probably with the, because I read the law, and at the time, the law stated that as of January 1st, there were some exceptions, like if you want to get it for yellow fever and that, which is not, no, they're not, because but all other vaccines for adults, senior
It's
adults,
not
are
the travel
supposed to be free.
vaccines, right. And there is dengue fever too, but thankfully it's not here in Boulder. Monkeypox is a certain population, and it's, I think it seems to be more on the West Coast right now. So I think we're good with that, and bird flu, and all those wonderful things. I'm going to write a book about all these fabulous things. Are we going to have elephant pox and all kinds of things soon, but hopefully not. Yes, Mom.
My question is the RSV vaccines. Are they going to do another round of RSV vaccines, or are those RSV vaccines that we got last year good for?
The RSV vaccine is no longer encouraged for senior citizens. No. It's more for the children, and it is the same vaccine. They haven't changed the RSV vaccine for that. But they had previously said you should get the flu shot and the RSV shot now they're saying maybe that's not unless you're super high risk for respiratory things.
Okay, thanks. Ring?
Thank you, Debbie. I miss these updates. I like them. So I just have a couple things to say. I attended Romeo Fest, actually the day after we got back from Jamaica. It was a great event. Always is in Romeo. They really did a good job. Face painting, heading to a variety of food trucks that I really enjoyed. Barbecue, tacos, Italian, ice cream. So we usually got my family and I. Great job to Jackie and Dean on managing the funds and everything, making it easy for the auditor. I know they've been telling you thank you for good job often, but it's nice to hear it from a unbiased third party. And then I also attended the funeral and celebration of life for Benjamin Terry as well, and for Kevin Wilson. It was a beautiful service. My condolences to the family once again, and I hope that the demonization against the unhoused and low income can stop, and we can move forward with the needed food pantry. Speaking on the food pantry, there are people that are speaking against it strictly because of stigmas against low income and unhoused. We have heard that here in our meetings multiple times, but maybe that's not everybody. So might float an idea, talk to you guys separately about maybe doing another forum. If there's confusion on some things, maybe we can do a better job of doing it.
Thanks. At this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Any discussion? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Braxton.
Aye.
Trustee Branson.
Aye.
Trustee Savage.
Aye.
Trustee Township. Aye. Supervisor Marshall.
Aye.